I want to talk to you about how to start a makeup line in a couple of steps. Okay, very very straightforward steps. And here's an overview here. When you think about starting a makeup line, you got to really go back to the whole conversation into target audience selection. You got to have a clear idea about the demographics, the psychographics, and the geography of your target audience. Okay, the thing is that there are well over 250 to 300 makeup lines represented by beauty giant Sephora, and this is only one company, Sephora. In the whole world, you have nearly 1,000 to 2,000 makeup lines actually currently in the market. So you have a large market, but you have a very very competitive niche also. So that's why you got to really go back to the specific target audience you want to really focus on. Okay, trends and niche markets spring up almost daily, ready for the taking. It's all about you having the right strategy and also the right product to make sure that you are able to actually talk to the right audience. Okay, because when it comes to makeup line, you are speaking about beauty, you are speaking about you're speaking about cosmetics, so you are speaking directly or indirectly about cultural shifts, about cultural trends. Okay, I mean what really represent beauty in the states may not be a beauty, let's say somewhere in Bhutan or somewhere in Asia. I mean, so those are things you have to be really care you have to be aware of. So let me give you the steps here. If you want to start a makeup line, you first want to find a trend or a niche in the market. Okay, you got to really ask yourself what's hot in the makeup market right now. Okay, will you capitalize on a trend or put a new spin on a classic or a favorite? You have to decide if your brand aims to fill a product gap in the market or serve an underrepresented audience. So it's one of those things, again, you have to really be strategic. So whatever you decide, be sure there is market demand, right? You can't really just have a product come out and have no idea that there's potential demand for that product. So that's number one. Find a trend or niche in the market. Number two, you want to pick a product and business model. Okay. And when I say business model here is that you got to really ask yourself how you're going to really attack the market, operationally speaking. Are you making DIY cosmetics or working with a manufacturer to produce products for you? You may also choose to work with a private label company or simply curate and dropship products from existing brands. The question is that whichever way you go will have to depend on your specific situation, but also your business model. The third thing you want to do here is to build your makeup brand. So if you want to start a makeup line, you got to really build your makeup brand. So after finding a trend or a niche in the market, picking a product and business model, you have to build your makeup brand. And the thing is that building a makeup brand actually goes through several phases. You have an operational phase, you have a marketing phase, you have an SEO phase, you have a cultural phase, because there has to be a sync between the culture itself and the geography that you want to go after, right? So in the image conscious cosmetics industry, brand is everything. People associate with a brand. People love a brand or they hate a brand. It is just what it is. So when it comes to branding, you got to be really methodical. You got to be really strategic, okay? Think through every aspect of what you want your brand to communicate to the world, from signature colors to brand voice to company values. It's what you stand for. It's what you care about. It's not just about the beauty of your clients, the external appearance of your clients. It's what you stand for, okay? Your branding package of visual assets, like think logo, fonts, and packaging, comes next. That's really important from an operational point of view. Next, you want to create an online store. So if you want to start a makeup line, you have to have an online store, because otherwise, how will your potential clients find you? Launch your products on your own online store and communicate your grand opening to your early followers. Be sure every aspect of your online presence is actually in line with your brand guidelines and standards. And when it comes to creating an online store, by the way, you are able to do it like you can go through Shopify, you can go to BigCommerce, you can go to let's say Magento, you can really use WooCommerce, WordPress, or what have you. You can have a lot of setups. Okay. then you have to market your makeup line. Marketing is really critical here. And so, get your products into the feeds of your target market. Makeup is a great candidate for influencer marketing. So, you want to find beauty creators who align with your brand. Even micro influencers can be powerful if they have a small but highly engaged audience. That's what you want. You want the audience to be engaged. You want the audience to be ready to take action. And so it's one of those things where you have to really see that you are actually communicating properly. Social media is quite essential when it comes to makeup line marketing. You cannot just rely nowadays. It will be foolish for you to think about relying exclusively on offline channels to actually market your makeup line. As a matter of fact, you can even go a little further in terms of SEO. You can think about SEO, search engine optimization, to even market your makeup line. So when it comes to starting a makeup line, I want to really go a little more in granularity. Okay, I want to really break things down for you. You have to really understand when you think about the makeup line, you are thinking about a market that's pretty close to $1 trillion. Let me repeat: this market is pretty close to $1 trillion. Some estimates go from 750 billion all the way to $1 trillion. It is a global market. Everybody wants to be beautiful in this world. Everybody, men and women. Because people think, well, when you think about the makeup line, you are only thinking about women. Well, there are some men who love makeup. I mean, it is what it is. And don't forget that the makeup industry actually is applicable to the media, to the movie industry. Like when you have a very like a very popular actor appearing in movies, he goes through a lot of makeup sessions. Okay, so don't think makeup is only for ladies who have to go to work, whatever. No, no, no. Makeup is actually there's a huge market for it. So when it comes to makeup lines, you have a way to navigate beauty trends. You have to see what's really working, what's really not working. So you have to be in sync with the cultural shifts, okay? And you need to really you need to be in sync with the culture to validate a product idea or find a business opportunity, okay? And the only way you can do this is to research trends. You can research trends through Google. You can research trends through feeds on social media. You can research trends through what's really happening in the market. You can follow influencers, brands, bloggers, YouTubers, publications, and beauty journalists. You can also think about finding niche markets. Niche markets. So, for instance, many brands have carved out some steady business for themselves by going after audiences with specific beauty needs. Okay, so you can really maybe you can go for a niche market in Africa, for instance, or you can go to a niche market in India, for instance, in Asia, in Latin America. So it's really how you want to really get things done your way. Now, you got to really ask yourself whether you want to make your own cosmetics, you want to manufacture it, you want to white label it, or you want to resell it. Okay. So, this actually has to do with your business model, what kind of business model you want to really implement. That's important from an operational point of view because the whole thing is when you start a business like a makeup line, it's got to be sustainable. Otherwise, if you just start like in a few months and the next thing you know, you're just out of this market, that's really bad. So you want to really ask yourself, do you want to make your own cosmetics? Some beauty products like lip balms, face oils, and bath products are so simple to make that you can start a makeup line from home. That's for sure. If you do, carefully test and document your process so your formula remains consistent as you grow or move to a commercial facility, right? So even though your manufacturing facility may be your kitchen at first, be sure that you are still following local regulations. So to manufacture cosmetics in the US, for instance, the FDA sets guidelines for ventilation, air control, and surfaces. So you want to really make sure because you're don't play with people's faces, with people's bodies. Okay. Also, you can think about white label manufacturing. So white label or private label refers to generically manufactured products that may or may not be customized slightly with color or fragrance, and are packaged and sold under your own branding. So many brands may use the same formulation made by the same facility with subtle variations and different packaging. Okay. So white label is really an ideal option for brands selling a novelty item or unique concept versus, let's say, a unique product. So that's really something to really think about. Let me give you an example. If you were to launch a unicorn themed store, maybe you'd sell private label lipsticks with unicorn packaging and magic fantasy inspired names. In this case, the lipstick itself is not as important as the branding or concept. You also have manufacturing cosmetics. So in other words, you want to go after unique formulations. So basically, I mean, if you have grown to become like if you have become a large brand, yeah, I mean, large brands may have their own factories, but many manufacturers produce products for multiple brands in the same space. This is a more accessible option for young brands. So that's something to really think about, especially if you are thinking about scaling real fast. When it comes to starting your makeup line, you also need to think about whether or not you want to curate and resell cosmetics. This could also be a great possibility for you. Okay, so you can also sell makeup online by skipping manufacturing altogether, buy wholesale from multiple brands, bring in a curated shopping experience to your customers. Okay, so think in themes: local only brands, natural or organic products, products for specific skin types or conditions. So that's something to really think about. So if you are looking to curate and resell, there are a few things you need to really consider. Otherwise, you might be losing money big time. Okay. First, you want to consider compatibility of brands. Is there any competition? Availability in your market. Okay. So if you are shipping to Canada, for instance, who else is shipping that particular brand to this market? Also, think about the customs fees, importing fees, factoring any after the fact fees you may incur when pricing your products, right? And also drop shipping. So this is a great solution for online cosmetics businesses because you don't need to manage your own inventory or shipping. You can also start from the ground up. In other words, you can actually say, listen, I'm going to do this myself from the ground up. So you can build your makeup brand. So that's kind of cool. Okay. So one thing for sure, you have to really understand that in any image based industry, such as cosmetics or let's just say something else, brand is especially important. Okay. Brand is actually different from branding because branding is actually the outward visual reflection of brand, though through your logo and design guidelines. Think about branding as a series of actions, but your brand is your core is the core self of your business. Consider how your packaging, branding, voice, and website design can help reflect brand values, tell a story, and creating an experience for your customers. Okay. Your brand is the feeling you want customers to have when they engage with you and use your products. That's important because you are trying to go to the core. Okay. It's all about storytelling, it's all about contextualizing, it's all about where you came from, who you are, and where you are going. And hopefully, you are trying to really bring your customers with you. So that's important from an operational point of view, but also an aspirational point of view. So if you are thinking about starting a makeup line, you want to think about the ingredients, the packaging, and the labeling, right? I mean, everything I told you a little earlier, it's all about the organizational aspect of things, right? The operational aspect of things. But you got to really now go to the ingredients, to the actual makeup. What are the chemicals making the makeup? Okay, because cosmetics are applied on the body, there are many risks to mitigate and regulations to follow, right? Every region will have its own laws around how cosmetics must be manufactured, tested, labeled, and marketed. So what you want to do is, if you want to start a makeup line, you want to refer to your local legislation, and Also, not just your the where you were at, right? But you also got to think about the regions where you plan to ship, because if you are in the states but you plan to ship to India or you plan to ship to Nigeria, you have to really understand that you have to abide by the laws of this country, but also the laws of Nigeria or India, for instance, because you want to ensure that your practices are legal and safe, right? Legality and safety must be your number one and number two priority, really. So when it comes to choosing cosmetic ingredients and building formulations, you want to make sure that you think about sourcing the right ingredients. Are the ingredients skincare grade and are approved for use in skincare in your industry and also your country? Do you care about natural ingredients? How will you ensure that the supplier's claims are legitimate? What preservatives will you use, if any? How will this affect shelf life? Will your products make organic claims? Be sure that the supplier possesses the appropriate certifications. This will differ from country to country. You want to trace the supply chain. Is the supplier reputable? Can they provide let's say references? What are the labeling laws in your country and the countries where you ship? Are any ingredients known as common allergens, right? So that's important. Also, think about sourcing and developing packaging. Packaging is part of branding, as I told you a little earlier, okay? So remember that packaging does a lot of heavy lifting. It represents your brand. It protects fragile products like eyeshadows and pressed powders from breakage during shipping and dropping. Doubles as an applicators, as in the case of mascaras and liquid lipsticks, communicates important information to customers, such as ingredients, expiry date, and usage restrictions, and also contributes to the customer experience through the unboxing process or via unique features. Okay, so that's important from a flexibility point of view. You got to also think about marketing your makeup line. I think I've said this before. So marketing actually is an important criterion that you have to pay attention to in terms of scaling your brand. Okay, and with marketing, you have to think about exclusively do let's say online marketing. So you want to have a social proof, for instance. Okay, you want to have brand partnership and beauty influencers, because nowadays, if you want to do a offline marketing for your makeup line, it might work, but it's just it will be slower. Everybody has a smartphone, or at least everybody has a Facebook account, so it's just a lot easier to let's say communicate a lot easier. Like you can communicate a lot more easily through social media than if you were to do it through offline channels. So something to really think about. Also, you got to really think about content and UGC. So when it comes to starting a makeup line, you want to think about the user generated sort of content, right? You want to really make sure that people are comfortable with using your product, but also posting about it. Okay, so if it's very difficult to tell if you are going to like a lipstick, if you can only judge by a written description and a photo of the product itself. So invest in creating your own content like lifestyle photos or videos featuring a variety of models to actually add to product pages or feature in social posts and marketing campaigns. You may actually help reduce returns too. Okay, that's really good. And also, you have to think about shipping and customer service. That's an important element. Okay, fragile items like mirrors and pressed powders require extra protection at the production and shipping stages. Okay, and so shipping cosmetics can be a tricky endeavor, especially with products like pressed powders. And you want to make sure that you have the right strategy there as well. So let me give you a few extras here. So how much does it cost to start a makeup line? Well, you want to think about the kind of target audience you are actually going after. But it costs you somewhere from a few $100s all the way to a $10,000. Okay. Again, the final cost will depend on the uh, the target audience. So that's the and you can actually start your own online makeup store real fast. Nothing really is needed here. You have You have e-commerce providers such as Shopify or WooCommerce or BigCommerce. They actually have they have done the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so you can really just start your online business real fast. The only thing is you got to think about marketing. You got to think about the target audience. You got to really understand the infographic, not the psychographics, the demographics, the geography you're going after, and what kind of pain points are you trying to solve? Are you really going after an underrepresented audience? Are you going after a specific skin tone or skin color? Okay, so just remember also that regulations play an important role. Okay, you don't need a federally recognized license to sell cosmetics online in the US. However, you will need FDA approval if your products contain color additives. Some locations require additional licensing. So, since these regulations can really vary, you want to really understand the local laws in both your business location and where your products will be shipped so that you can really, profit from this market. But overall, selling makeup is really a good business. As I said earlier, it's a near $1 trillion business. So there's a lot of opportunities to grab here. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to start a makeup line. I gave you the overview, the steps. I gave you the granular aspect of things, and the extras also, and now the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.